Okay, guys, more factoring, and they stepped it up just a notch on us. So what we're going to do this time is, this is called factoring quadratics with a common factor. So the first thing that we notice here is all three of these numbers are divisible by 5. So the first thing that has to happen, so we start with 5x squared plus 20x minus 60, is we have to remove the common factor of 5. So what we have to think about is, what would be in here if I took the 5 and I multiplied to get back what I got. So 5 times x squared is 5x squared, 5 times 4x is 20x, 5 times 12 is 60. Now we're back to factoring this. Now hopefully we can get past needing to draw out the visual help with the area model, but if you need to, by all means do. But we know this has to be x and x. We know these two numbers have to multiply to give us 12, and specifically negative 12. So it's 1 and negative 12, negative 1 and positive 12, 2 and negative 6, negative 2 and positive 6, 3 and negative 4, or negative 3 and positive 4. Those are our options. Now we need a pair of those that adds to give me 4, and that comes right here. Negative 2 plus 6 gives me the positive 4. So this has got to be negative 2, and this has got to be positive 6. So when we go back here, our answer is 5 times parentheses x plus 2. Is it x plus 2 or x minus 2? It's x minus 2. So remember when I was doing it wrong. Minus 2 times x plus 6. And you get positive middle term. All right. Next one. Again, they're setting up the same thing each time. So here's our problem. So again, we have 7x squared plus 35x plus 42. All three of those numbers are divisible by 7. So first things first is to factor the 7 out to the front. Now we know this is going to have to be x and x. 6 is kind of nice. It's 1 and 6 or 2 and 3. There are not a lot of options there. And we need them to add to 5. Now this one is where the positive negatives come in, because this is why I was writing out like 1 and negative 6 and negative 1 and 6. Because since they're positive here, it has to be this one. Even though these will subtract to give you 5, that would only work if it's a negative. So you have to make sure that you're dealing with the sign stuff. So this has to be plus 2 plus 3. And here we go. Back here again. 7 parentheses x plus 2, close parentheses, open parentheses, x plus 3. Next one. Again, with the pattern now is starting to set in, you kind of understand what they're expecting. We have 4x squared minus 28x plus 40. They're all divisible by 4. So that's x squared minus 7x plus 10. So we're dealing with x and x. Now, we're multiplying to get a positive, but we're adding to get a negative. Well, the only way that can happen is if they're both negative. So the options here are negative 1, negative 10, negative 2, negative 5, because we need a positive that adds up to a negative. So they have to all be negative. And we have to add up to negative 7. Well, negative 1 plus negative 10 is negative 11. Negative 2 plus negative 5 is negative 7. So that's a negative 2, and that's negative 5. By the way, you can switch the order on that. You can make that 5 and that 2. That doesn't really matter. So again, 4 parentheses x minus 2, x minus 5. Last one. Ooh, they're gonna make this a little bit more interesting here by throwing a negative in here. It's not really that big a deal, but it does kind of change things just a little bit, okay? Because we're not going to pull a 2 out, we're going to pull a negative 2 out. So that's x squared. Now what that negative 2 does is it's going to end up switching the sign because negative 2 times negative 10 is positive 20, and it's going to make this positive 24. Now here we are again. We're multiplying to get a positive number, but we're adding to get a negative number. So that means everything has to be negative. The only way that's going to happen is if you're multiplying and with negatives. So they're all negative. Now you want to add up to negative 10. See, again, this one kind of looks like it could give you 10, but because it's negative 2 and negative 12, that's actually negative 14. It's this one right here. So it's negative 2 times x minus 4 times x minus 6. And there you go. That's when it takes some practice. I really do encourage you to get back in there and try the homeworks a couple of times because it does take a little bit of practice to get a hang of it. And again, always ask questions.